Macca's Guides.
Hey everyone, Macca here, playing the Cuphead DLC, and in today's video I'm going to show you how the King's Leap works, how you can defeat all of the King of Games' champions, and how to complete the Gauntlet as easily as possible. This will unlock you a bunch of coins that you can use in the Emporium to buy the weapons, as well as 2 achievements or trophies. Let's get started. So as you walk around the new DLC island, you'll often see a ladder that comes down from the sky. You can climb up this ladder and then meet the king. The ladder will move as you make progress, but the first time you climb the ladder, there will be 2 enemies. The second time, there will be 3 new enemies, and the third time on the beach, you'll be able to talk to the king and do the Gauntlet. Now, the Gauntlet is basically just all 5 of the king's champions back to back. However, there is something that makes it pretty easy, and that is every time you start a new level, it will refresh your HP back up to 4. You can get hit a couple of times as long as you survive each round individually, and if you do die, you can just restart. All of these, by the way, are parry challenges similar to some of the ghost challenges in the original game. So for the first level, it's the pawns. Just wait until they come down and dash directly into them, making sure you watch out for the ones that don't have pink on them as they've already been parried. The second enemy you'll have to face is the knight, and they only have 3 attacks, and only 2 of them, in my opinion, can be punished. And this one is more of a test of patience than anything. You kind of want to stay near the middle of the screen and wait for the knight to make his move. If he swings his sword directly up, just wait for the next turn. If he swings his sword in a circle, then you can punish that with 1 or 2 parries. And last but not least, if he dashes at you, you can often punish this with 2 or even 3 parries sometimes. So just take your time, make sure you stay near the middle to bait the attacks, and eventually after about 15 or so parries, you should complete this Gauntlet boss. The third boss in the Gauntlet is the Bishop. This one's actually probably the most fun in my opinion, but you'll see the Bishop kind of roaming around the screen, and they're also going to be dropping bells, so watch out for the bells. And when the Bishop is pink, that's when you can parry into him, obviously. But to turn him pink, you have to extinguish all of the candles. And to do that, all you have to really do is just touch them. So we're basically just avoiding the bells, touching all of the candles when we can to make the Bishop pink, and then parrying him. And to do this correctly, you'll need to do this cycle 7 times. The final cycle will include all of the candles needing to be extinguished, so that's how you know you're getting close. Make sure you just stay alive as long as possible, although this one's pretty forgiving. Even if you get hit, it's pretty hard to fail, in my opinion. The fourth boss in the Gauntlet is the Rook, and this is a test of patience more so than anything, in my opinion. What you'll need to do is you'll see these pink balls that are falling down, and keep in mind Chalice does have a double jump, which is going to be really crucial to this tactic. But basically we're going to be parrying these skulls and sending them into the Rook. And for many of them, you will have to parry them more than once for them to get the required distance to the Rook. And you'll see it's pretty obvious when they take damage. As they're taking damage though, their grinding wheel will begin to spark. And this will mean you'll have to start jumping over the sparks in the ground, or else you'll start taking damage to them as well. So that's what kind of adds even more patience to the run. You can also, if you are really good and skilled, you can kind of like double jump and then parry into a skull like multiple times without touching the ground. However, I found that this often led to me being above the screen and not being able to see what I was doing, which ended up taking more damage away from me. So basically, it's kind of that risk and reward play. If you want to get it done fast, you can. But for this one, patience is better than anything. I think this one takes like 8 to 10 hits and you'll be done before you know it. Again, patience is a virtue. Just keep jumping over those sparks and keep volleying those skulls over. Many of the skulls will take 2 or 3 hits, especially the later on you get. They start going higher and higher and further and further. Last but not least is the queen, and as long as you know what you're doing, it's not too bad. The thing that is important is that the cannons have to be facing the queen when you parry them for them to damage her. If the cannonball doesn't hit her and isn't aimed at her, it won't actually do any damage. So you're kind of waiting for the cannons to be facing the queen while you shoot them so you can actually get damage done. But there's also a little bit of that risk and reward too. Sometimes you're just gonna parry cannons because you need to get out of the way or just move. So it's not about having every bullet hit, but you definitely want a high hit percentage if you don't want this boss fight to last forever. So make sure the cannons are actually aimed. Occasionally there will be 3 tall enemies come across the screen. Make sure you parry that as well, and then dodge all of the objects that fall down from the sky, and you'll be done in no time completing the King's Gauntlet. Congratulations on your achievement, and congratulations on the coins you earned from doing it the first time. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video, share it with a friend. Special thanks to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show, and hopefully I see you soon. Peace.